Imagine Baghdad at night, the lamps on the riverbanks twinkling like someone spilled a jewelry box on the Tigris. Now fast forward to 1258. The lights are gone, the water's black with ink from drowned books, then red with blood. The guy who signed off on that horror show was Hulagu. Yes, Genghis Khan's own grandson, the human buzzsaw your history teacher warned you about. But here's the kicker. Within 10 years, this same man is minting coins with Persian poetry, bankrolling observatories, and getting described by Iranian scribes as the ruler who pitched the sky as his tent. How do you go from world-class arsonist to God-king? Stick around. The answer reroutes the Middle East. Who on earth was Hulagu? Born around 1217, Hulagu was the runt of Tolui's litter, Tolui being Genghis's fourth son and the family's designated send-in-the-cavalry branch. When Big Brother Monkey grabbed the Great Khan title in 1251, he needed a street-tough relative to mop up Southwest Asia. The hash-smoking assassins on their cliff-top forts, the Abbasid Caliph still pretending he mattered, plus any Kurdish or Armenian warlord with an attitude. Munka handed Hulagu something between 120 to 150,000 soldiers. Think the 13th century version of giving your little brother the launch codes and saying, "Try not to break the planet." The march west. The columns rolled out in 1253. Engineers, siege geeks, scouts who could outrun WhatsApp rumors and, because Mongols didn't do solo, wives, kids, even a traveling observatory bumping along in felt wagons. By 1256, the assassin fortress of Alamut starved into surrender. Story goes, Hulagu asked the last old man of the mountain whether his hidden tunnels and stabby fanboys could save him now, then politely erased the fort from the skyline. Cities got the usual spam: resist and be flattened, surrender and keep your walls. Shockingly, most inboxes hit comply. The week that shook Islam. Baghdad thought it was special. The Caliph believed centuries of religious street cred would scare off steppe ponies. Nope. Mongol engineers busted dikes, flooded moats, wheeled up towers taller than Friday prayers. Gates cracked on February 10th, 1258. What followed was a bureaucratic massacre. Every male above cart axle height, every scholar hugging manuscripts, every palace pony, inventoried, taxed, often terminated. Modern tallies still land in 6 digits. Books from the House of Wisdom became Tigris fish food. Ducks supposedly staggered around drunk on calligraphy ink. The Caliph got the royal carpet treatment, rolled up and trampled, because Mongol etiquette hates spilled royal blood. Mission accomplished? Well, terror doesn't balance budgets. Ain Jalut, the speed bump of fate. High on adrenaline, Hulagu charged toward Jerusalem and Cairo. He left General Ketbuka holding Syria, swaggered through Aleppo and Damascus, then headed home to Iraq. Enter Qutuz, the Mamluk Sultan who'd been speed-reading the Mongol playbook. Fake retreats, hit-and-run archery, the works. At Ain Jalut in September 1260, the Mongols lost their first open battle. Ketbuka's head decorated a Cairo gate. Hulagu reportedly cried, then shrugged. The frontier froze along the Euphrates. He never crossed west again. Why he stayed, defeat mattered, but politics mattered more. News arrived. Monka was dead. Empire-wide cage match for succession now open. Hulagu looked at Persia. Rich, populous, already his. Chose sanity and stayed put. He declared himself Ilkhan, Khan of the Khanate, answerable to nobody. From Azerbaijan to the Gulf, from the Oxus to the Zagros, he built a realm the size of modern Iran plus Iraq. Postal riders thundered along fresh yam roads. Chinese hydrologists dug canals. Persian bean counters tallied taxes in silver. The destroyer became a glorified accountant with killer cavalry. The birth of the Ilkhanate First Order of Business. Coins. In 1262, Tabriz minted silver pieces sporting elegant Arabic plus old-school Mongol Tamga stamps. Tiny detail, huge statement, half steppe, half city. Viziers who knew saffron yields shared offices with Uyghur scribes who could spreadsheet it. Hulagu handed out Ikuta land grants for cash flow, not forever. He kept the delete key. Christian Europe even sent love letters calling him protector of Christians, hoping he'd tag team against Cairo. Alliance never happened. Yet the PR mileage shows how fast reputations travel. Science rises from the ashes. Astronomers were Hulagu's rock stars. At Marageh, he bankrolled an observatory. Brick towers, bronze toys, 400K books. Many fished out of the very river he'd inked. Nasir al-Din al-Tusi crunched planetary tables so precise, Copernicus photocopied them 2 centuries later. Chinese scholars swapped gunpowder for Persian algebra. Sanskrit math slid into Arabic, then Mongolian. Burn one library, scatter the seeds, and watch knowledge bloom along a Silk Road superhighway. Religion, the slow conversion. Hulagu never took the Shahada. He died a drum-beating shamanist. Still, diplomacy meant wedding a Buddhist princess, stashing a Quran in the treasury, and greenlighting Friday sermons in rebuilt Baghdad. Grandson Ghazan flipped the script in 1295. Islamic coins, Islamic titles. The Ilkhanate became the first major Mongol state to join the faith it once fought. Islam, bruised and bloodied, swallowed the invaders whole and Persianized them in 3 generations. Sometimes the best revenge is absorption. Art, architecture, daily life. Travelers gushed that 1265 Tabriz bloomed like a rose garden. Caravanserais every 30 kilometers offered free beds, camel vets, even customer service complaints boxes. Miniatures show Mongol women in silk, silver bells in their braids, hunting with cheetahs that wore smaller collars than most handbags. Potters slapped turquoise on tiles, later copied by the Safavids. Polo goalposts, severed rebel heads, because Mongols don't do subtle. Life got safer. Rob a caravan and you'd be the halftime show. For farmers, taxes were heavy but predictable. Medieval paradise. The Last Ride. February 1265, Jagatu River. Sudden belly pain, maybe a burst appendix. Hulagu died around 48, grandpa age for a steppe warrior. Ground was frozen solid. Bonfires thawed it so they could dig. Grave goods included gold, carpets, favorite horses, and, according to gossip, a few unlucky workmen to keep the secret. Location still MIA. Widow Dokes Khatun stepped in as regent for son Abaka, and the dynasty cruised another 88 years, long enough to flavor everything from Iranian stew to mosque tiles. So, destroyer or builder? Labels bore him. Sure, Baghdad's fall ended the Abbasid glow. Libraries blazed, scholars sprinted to Cairo or Delhi. Yet the reboot mattered. Persian replaced Arabic in court, nudging Iranian identity awake. Marageh's star chart seeded later renaissances in Samarkand. Mongol headcounts morphed into Ottoman tax rolls. Hulagu smashed the antique engine, then bolted in upgraded gears. Thanks, history's complicated like that. What if he had lost earlier? Mongols bounce off Alamut, assassins keep terrorizing kings. Baghdad stands, its caliph still the Sunni figurehead. Cairo never becomes the scholar life raft. Europe gets science in dribbles. Or flip the other way. Hulagu crushes Ain Jalut, trots into Alexandria, maybe Jerusalem. Mamluks collapse. Islamic heartland shifts to Tabriz. Borders, dialects, sectarian lines. None of the Middle East you know exists. One skirmish, one siege, one guy who decided to stay. History pivots on door hinges disguised as speed bumps. Echoes today. Crews northern Iran and grandpas still call a meteor Hulagu's arrow. Iraqi moms scare kids with, the red-bearded Khan will come back. Yet modern Iran's Shiite identity? Safavids made it official in land first glued together by the Ilkhanate. Those postcard turquoise domes. Glazes cooked in Mongol kilns. Brutal entrepreneurs, accidental interior designers. History's weird like that. The God King. Hulagu rode in as the scourge of God and rode out as founder of a kingdom. He shattered a caliphate, then bankrolled stargazers and poets. Persian verses echoed through Mongol courts. Chinese gunpowder lit Persian skies. That's the paradox. The same man who fed books to fish also paid for the telescopes that mapped the stars. So next time someone spits Mongol destruction, remember the second half. Out of the ashes galloped not just horsemen, but a dynasty whose coins, calendars, and cobalt tiles still glint under the Middle Eastern sun. Hey, like twists you never saw coming? Hit subscribe and ring the bell. History's got more cliffhangers than any streamer, and we're here to binge them all.